My guess is that you are really, really hard on yourself. And my guess is you've been doing this for so many years that it feels like it's just a habit for you. It feels like it's the only way to be, and you probably think you deserve it. Now, if that's you, you're going to want to listen to this episode, because today we're going to talk about the signs that you are too self-critical and how it is impacting your recovery. We have so much research to show that the more you beat yourself up, the slower your recovery is, the more difficult it is to be motivated, the more you procrastinate, the more anxiety and depression you have. And so we want to get to the bottom of this. All of the work I do circles around this one concept, which is you can overcome your anxiety. You can recover from OCD. But a huge part of that is about how you talk to yourself, whether that's how you motivate yourself, how kind you are, how much you encourage yourself while in the face of actual adversity, while you are anxious, while you're having intrusive thoughts. That is the key component here, and let's get to it. Now, first, let me just dispel a myth. I am not here with the goal of you always speaking just so kindly. That is probably not going to happen. There will be times where you screw up and you make a mistake and you beat yourself up a little bit. Here is an example. I am very, very kind to myself. I almost never say unkind things to myself. This week, I'm leaving to go to Australia, literally in about 6 hours. I'm here recording with you because that's how important it is with me. I'm leaving, but I did not want to miss an episode. And on Thursday, today is Saturday, on Thursday, I realized I let my passport expire. Now, the cool thing is I said only one unkind thing. It's going to happen. My only thing is I said, oh my God, how stupid can you be? But then I laughed and I was like, yep, okay, here we go. I made a mistake. And so I'm not expecting you to be kind all the time. But what I would like to see is an 80 to 85% reduction in self-criticism by you from this episode. The commitment we leave you with is, can we work towards that between a 50 and an 85% reduction in self-criticism? Now, if you are willing to jump on this with me, let's do it, because there is so many benefits to this. Once you recognize the problems that get caused by self-criticism, you will be even more likely to I always say with my clients, do not touch self-criticism with a 10-foot pole. As soon as you go down that road, we're in trouble. Now, there are 4 main symptoms or signs that you are being too self-critical, and let's talk about them today. Number 1 is negative self-talk. If you engage in any word, and I'm talking about any word that is unkind, that you would not say to your child's teacher or your child or your boss or the person you love the most or a stranger on the street, we don't want you saying that to yourself either. So one of the biggest signs is actual critical words, name calling, like idiot, stupid, foolish, ignorant, dumb, ugly. We don't want to use any of those descriptive words. And your work here is to first catch what of those you're doing. So I always have my clients as homework, and I'm going to give this to you as homework, is on your phone or on a notepad, tally down the words you use towards yourself. If you're someone who's taken your self-compassion toolkit, which is our online course that teaches you how to be self-compassionate in 21 days, that is the first activity. Write down what it is exactly that you're saying to yourself, and then examine, would I say that to somebody on the street? Again, almost in every count, they would never say such things to somebody else. So that is the first sign. The second sign is perfectionism in general. Now, perfectionism is ultimately holding yourself to standards that are impossible. Human beings make mistakes. As much as I am highly, highly functioning, I am going to forget to renew my passport. I am going to forget someone's birthday. I am going to double book clients. I'm going to make mistakes on emails. I talk with you guys all the time about how most of my social media posts have an error, a spelling error, a grammatical error in some way, because that is realistic. And so being really perfectionistic is another sign that you're being too self-critical. Number 3 is difficulty accepting compliments. If you feel this internal, oh gosh, I can't take it when someone gives you a compliment, that is probably a sign that you yourself are too self-critical, that being positive feels actually really unsafe to you. And then the last one is if you're someone who experiences significant guilt and shame, Again, another reason you are probably someone who beats yourself up too much. Now, how this impacts your recovery. We have research to show that beating yourself up decreases motivation. It significantly increases stress and anxiety. But one thing here that I should have put is also depression. People who beat themselves up have significantly higher levels of depression. And we do know that it makes them slower to heal and go into recovery and increases their chances of relapsing. Now, why does self-compassion matter? Now, the cool thing about this is let's just get the myths out of the way. Self-compassion is just not being like, oh, you're the best, you're so wonderful, you're the coolest, you're the prettiest. It is not that. That is not going to land on your nervous system. In fact, it's going to sound really wrong and as ridiculous as anything. What we want to do is, instead of just positivity and fake sort of compliments, we want to move towards self-compassion. We have a lot of research to show that self-compassion helps build resilience. It increases motivation. It's actually a inner voice that decreases procrastination. It decreases depression. It decreases how much your brain sends out cortisol into your body so that you feel anxious, right? So it decreases that, and it is crucial for your long-term recovery. Okay, so let's talk about steps to overcome self-criticism. Number one, you are going to work at reframing your thoughts. Now, I'm going to go through this really quickly. If you want a step-by-step way of doing this, head into the show notes. I'll send you straight into your self-compassion toolkit. You are going to only say kind things. Even if, and this is a really key one, I do this for hours with my clients sometimes over the course of their treatment, is even if what you're saying is correct, right? Like, I did fail the last math test. I am not that smart. I'll say, okay, even if that is true, even if actual evidence shows that you're not good at math and your IQ is lower than other people, but we also don't say things that aren't helpful. And so even if things are true, if they're not helpful, we have to work at finding new ways to say it. So instead of saying, I'm actually pretty dumb, I don't do well in math, that's actually me, I'm not good at math, I never was, is I might say, math is not my strong point. It's not reasonable to be good in all areas. That is a reframe on, I'm dumb, I actually cannot do math well. Does that make sense? Number two, we're going to practice self-forgiveness. We are going to forgive ourselves for the errors we make. What happens with that? Let's play this out. So many people with anxiety spend half of their day or more, sometimes their whole day, oh my gosh, overdoing everything in fear that they will make a mistake, to try and prevent making a mistake. For me, I don't have time for that. If I'm going to help you guys, if I'm going to change the lives of 10 million people, which is my personal goal, is to change the life of 10 million people with anxiety, I don't have time to prevent problems. I have to just keep moving. But what I do is, when I do make a mistake, I am the safest person for myself to hold space for the fact that I screwed up. I'm totally self-forgiving. Me learning that I forgot to renew my passport was like a 20-second panicky mode. And then it was like, hon, you did it. It's fine. Let's move on. We haven't got time to do this. We're just going to ground in the fact that how we can solve this. And for me, the only way I got there is through about, I would guess, like 5,000 reps of that. 5,000, like over years, probably like 5 to 10 years of practice. But you can get there too. Number three is set realistic goals. Practice having realistic goals. Is it realistic for me to, I don't know, have the house perfect before I leave for Australia? No. So I'm not going to set that goal because I don't want to beat myself up when I leave tonight for the airport and I look around and the house is not perfect. We want to set realistic goals for ourselves. We want to realize that a part of being a human means to make mistakes. A part of being a human means to have intrusive thoughts that we don't like. A part of being a human is to have anxiety and panic. These are all parts of being a human being. And number four is, please seek support. I cannot stress this enough. Your healing will not happen on your own alone. It happens so much faster and so much deeper if you're in connection with somebody else. So please connect with others who are going through what you're going through. Friends, family, a therapist, support groups, anybody, right? Just talk to them and start to get in connection with them. Now, here is a new perspective I want you to take. We want to move towards progress over perfection. We are not going to get things right the perfect way on the very first time. I always say to my kids, this is the first time I've ever been a parent. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes here. And they laugh, right? When I do make a mistake, I don't use that as sort of like a way to like not take the blame. I take the blame. I'm like, you're right. I totally screwed up there. But I also remind myself, Kimberly, You've never done this before. You've never parented before. And I might even say to my son, who's younger than my daughter, I'll say, I've only raised one daughter. I've never raised a son before. This is still new to me. That's the way I want you to see your life as well. Self-compassion is simply giving yourself the same kindness that we would give to others. So I want you to frame your day that way. How can you be so freaking kind to yourself and love on yourself so hard and love on others so hard that you don't have that much suffering anymore, that you've replaced your suffering with kindness and love and gentleness and forgiveness and just lovely words and lovely tone of voice. Embracing self-kindness supports your recovery, right? And you deserve this. You deserve to be treated kindly. Now, I know you're probably thinking, yeah, but Kimberly doesn't know about that one intrusive thought I have. Or she doesn't know about this big mistake I made. Or she doesn't know just how unwell I am. And I'm going to say to you, yes, I do. I see my clients like this every single day. I've been there myself. But the more you're suffering, the more you deserve kindness. Everyone deserves kindness. So even if you're having a really good day, you deserve kindness as well. But I really want you to remind yourself, the more uncomfortable you are, the more I want you to lean into this in the smallest ways, small acts of kindness. Now, as always, I am sending you so much love. I want to remind you that you can do this hard thing. It might feel like a massive mountain to climb, but we get up really big mountains by taking one baby step at a time. And as you always know, I always say it's a beautiful day to do these really, really, really hard things. And so I want you to really put your mind to this goal, right? It'll only replace suffering. I promise you will not regret this commitment that we're making together. You will not regret it. And so please know that you deserve it. Please know that I am sending you every ounce of my love. Head to your self-compassion toolkit at cbtschool.com if you want to really dive into this. Our students, oh my gosh, to see the progress they have made is so cool. To see how it is changing their life is just so life-changing. And so please head over to cbtschool.com if you're interested in that. I would love to see you there. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.